Why, good morning. It's the morning of July 4th, 2024, and I am diagnosing, from my previous video, a low voltage condition. So I really just rolled out of bed, taking a deep breath. It is a long weekend. I do have a new alternator on order, which maybe I'll need, maybe I won't. And the rule of the day is baby steps. I'm going to take my time since I do have all weekend. Main thing is to come up with a plan, try and check the low-hanging fruit. So I do have my trusty Bentley manual here. I kind of already did this, but you know, you always want to, well, I did charge my battery overnight, first of all, because I drove it for quite a few miles, just running off of battery. So I did check my terminals, tight and tight. The ground bolts up in here, and I had already cleaned that. So I'm going to assume that that is okay. The way this system works, so the the alternator obviously is in the back. It's driven by the belt. And so yeah, the belt is good. I'm going to do a little twist test to it so I can turn it almost 90 degrees. It wasn't slipping. It looked pretty good. But for those who have done their starter, that big wire that goes to the starter, you basically have the main electrical wire that runs through the starter, and then it goes on to the alternator. And then the alternator has a blue wire that hooks up to it. That goes up through the security system for the last few years of the 3.2, and it goes to the 12 volt in the ignition switch. And basically what that does is it senses the voltage of the battery. So if the voltage of the battery gets below a certain threshold, it'll ignite the alternator to run current through the thick gauge wire to charge the battery. So that's how it works. And that blue wire that does the exciter wire that does that monitoring goes through your gauges, and it goes through the bulb on your second gauge from the left. And that's how it knows to ignite that bulb. If your voltage gets low, it's not, there's like a tug-of-war between the two voltages. Voltages it senses here and voltage it senses there. Is at least the way I understand how it works. And if it loses the tug-of-war on voltage, that's when that light turns on. And the easiest way to check it is just turn the ignition on, don't start the car, make sure the light bulb ignites. If it does not, then that circuit is broken. It needs that light bulb to be, believe it or not, a light bulb has to be working for your alternator to work. So that is, to be, very low-hanging fruit. And I don't recall, I don't know if you can see it, I don't recall that lit yesterday, but I'd had my sunroof open driving. So let me just do it. And now it's a little bit darker. Okay. I do not see that light. So that should, well, that should turn on just because it's an idiot light. So I'm going to pull this gauge and I'm going to inspect that bulb. You can check it through by removing the alternator, but I'm not going to do that yet. So stay tuned. And just in case you haven't removed your gauges, there's nothing really holding these in besides a friction fit with rubber. So just use something like this, plastic, or very lightly with a screwdriver, and you just basically get in here and you pry until you get it off. But when you get them off, use something like silicone grease, and you just put around the rubber. It nourishes the rubber, and it'll make it a lot easier to remove the next time. All right, so I'm going to pull this out. Okay, I got the gauge out. I did really lubricate it pretty good last time, but it's kind of dry again. So it was a little harder than normal. Basically start at like 7, 8 o'clock. Pry it out here because you can get a good, you have a good entry in here, and then kind of get it down to 6 o'clock, and then that should be enough for you to get it out. But anyway, so looking at the gauge, I'm looking at, so here's the blue wire. And then this goes to the ignition over here. And I want to pull this out and test that bulb. And then if you want to see what it looks like back in there, basically this is your frunk. You can actually see a washer hose right there. So yeah, if you can't get it out pulling it, you can always go in there and then find the second gauge and gently push on this, the back of the gauge here, and you can push it out. So yeah, interesting and simple car. All right, so I'm gonna see if I can get that bulb holder out. I think it just pulls out, and we'll get going from there. So just as a note, so right now I have not disconnected the battery. I know that these are cold, but anything after this I'll be disconnecting the negative ground. So here I go. Alright, so here's the bulb, and this goes into the socket, so you want to pull on this little lip right here after you disconnect the wires and then pull it up. So I'm going to check the bulb. It looks okay to me, but it could not be connected. The filament could be burned out. So I'm going to check that real quick. Alright, I'm running ohm meter through the bulb. Yeah, it looks like the bulb is good. So we'll go from here, next troubleshooting step. Alright, and for those of you who do like to see light on the bulb for alternate test, just putting 12 volts through it. So bulb is good, socket is good, and I'm following the Bentley guide for the next steps.